Well, good afternoon from Detroit. You're joining us at 5 p.m. local time here at the Birmingham Athletic Club. And it's the final day of the Sturbridge Capital Motor City Open 2024. Well, what a final we've got on our hands here. The number 1 and 2 seed, Diego Elias and Coll, both absolutely carved the way through the draws to make it to tonight's final. And it's got all the makings of an absolute belter, really. Well, Chris Gordon will be joining me for the final action here. Afternoon, Chris.
Good evening, Paul.
Well, we saw both these chaps come through in real style last night. Diego Elias was first up against tricky opponent in Faris Dasuki, who, in your words, Chris, he did blow hot and cold throughout the match. Error rate was far too high to really trouble Elias, who cruised across the line in the end. And then with Coll against Miguel Rodriguez, that was really ruthless stuff from the Kiwi. Clinical but error-free. Rodriguez had no answer, really.
Yeah.
Well, Diego Elias is the number 1 seed in the event, and he is absolutely well and truly aware of how this court plays. This is his 5th consecutive final here at this tournament, and the last 3 of which he's won, so he's going for 4 on the bounce, which would be an unbelievable achievement. Clearly enjoys his time here at the Birmingham Athletic Club. Both these players are former world number 1s. Coll currently sitting at world number 3, shown some great form throughout the season, certainly at the back end of the year, winning the Hong Kong Open, followed by the New Zealand Open. 31 years of age, is his first appearance in a final here, taking on his great friend Diego Elias, but of course friendship ends as soon as you walk through that door onto the court. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Well, it is Coll that's had the better of Elias in the last 2 meetings. I think we referred yesterday to the most recent clash between these guys was in Hong Kong in the quarterfinals. Coll won that 3-love. It was quite straightforward, really. I remember being on site watching, and it was certainly an under par Diego Elias, not taking anything away from Coll, because he obviously went on to win that event. But Diego Elias looked a fraction off, for whatever reason it may be, but certainly returned to form at the beginning of this year. Had a fantastic outing at the Tournament of Champions, losing to Ali Farag in the final. And as we've already said, he's got an incredible record here in Detroit. So, yeah, this is got all the makings of a classic, really, Chris.
Yeah, this one's lined up really nicely for us here this evening. Both players getting through to the final, very, very fresh. And we can see there's quite a lot of familiarity between these two, having met 13 times before on the PSA World Tour. And it's been sort of back and forth in the match count, with Coll claiming the last 2 ones, but Diego Elias claiming the 2 previous to that. So, a lot to play for here, and certainly quite a lot of parity potentially.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to call, really. Neither players managed to win 3 on the bounce over the 13 times they've played. So Coll gets this final underway in the red. Elias in all black colours. That was our Coll in yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here tonight, Paul, because we saw last night Paul Coll against Miguel Rodriguez. Paul Coll playing very conservatively, not really opening up too much into the front corners. He was controlling the pace well and was very far up the tee, but here against a customer like Diego Elias, he's going to need to use a lot more of the court to break down the Peruvian.
I think we're guaranteed to see some long exchanges in the opening phases of this match. Neither player's been tested beyond 38 minutes so far in the tournament. Everything's been straight game victories, so both players are going to be very, very fresh coming into it.
Absolutely, Paul, and this is a monstrous rally to get things going. Well, it was always going to end in a let, wasn't it? Just play it again.
Yeah. Well, it looked like a bit of a frame there from Coll. Well, it's clinical finish that time from Elias. Coll just got a little bit trapped.
Yeah, for me here, I think we're going to see Elias trying to absorb the pace of Paul Coll and counter-punch. I think the Peruvian's not going to try to force things too much. He's going to let Paul Coll try and sort of dictate a high pace and work off that.
Our crowd are loving this. Flurry of attacks from both players. Incredible movement on display. I think we're going to hear a big round of applause at the end of this one, Chris.
No, absolutely. These guys really starting to open things up and use the entirety of the court.
Lovely little backhand drop there from Coll. Forced the back wall boast from Elias. He had plenty of time to prepare. Just held at the top of the swing and just put that ball in with immaculate touch. Oh. Well, we were talking off air, Chris, about Coll's performance last night against Rodriguez. We were trying to remember if he'd hit an error in the entire match, and neither of us could recall one. And he's already hit 2 unforced errors at the start of this match. Obviously, the level of pressure is far more against somebody like Diego Elias, who appears to be moving very smoothly as he does and finding his targets. Not very much for Coll to latch onto so far.
No, and I think what Diego Elias is doing supremely well here is he's taken advantage of the high tee pitch position of Coll to find bigger gaps in space in the back corners to force the Kiwi into some slightly heavier movements.
Well, no mistake that time from Coll. Coll came right through the middle of the court. Had to be quick with his hands. Managed to cut that ball across into the front right. Too good for Elias. He's back within 1 on the scoreboard. I sense that this is going to be a bit of a monster of an opening game, Chris.
No, it's certainly shaping up like that, Paul. Both these players just standing at the center of the ring, trading punches. There it is, Diego Elias just sublimely slashing the ball out of the air into the cross-court neck. Well, John Mazzarella wanting Diego Elias to have a little bit more effort in the action of going through the interference to play that ball. It's a good squeeze from Coll there in the front corner.
Yeah, and it has to be quality against Elias when you're taking the ball into that front left, because he can be absolutely lethal from up there himself. Well, just starting to show a few little cracks here. Diego Elias, Coll's perseverance starting to pay off. He's taken a 2-point lead here.
Well, I think Coll is starting to reap the rewards to some extent of the physicality of those early exchanges.
Oh, it's absolutely fired that ball into that front forehand corner with a straight kill. Superb. Absolutely superb there from Coll. It's quite an awkward position he was in, but he got onto the ball early, playing off his left leg there in the front backhand. Looked almost impossible to get that ball straight.
Yeah, every time that it looks like Coll getting a little bit of momentum, Elias responding supremely well with either a higher intensity point or a quick winner.
Oh. Oh, he's plucked that out of the air to perfection. Big points now. Well, it's a no-let for Coll, and that hands 2 game balls to Diego Elias.
He's done a good job here in this rally. Elias scampering to get himself back onto a level footing.
It's going to be a stroke, unfortunately, for Coll. Well, it's not the way he would have liked to see that first game end, and no let and a stroke, both going in the favour of the Peruvian. Well, it was 15 minutes of action, a lot of quality on display from both players. It was Diego Elias who came through 11-8 and takes the opener in 15 minutes, and he leads by 1 game to love. Elias serves here to kick off the second game. Very strong start and finish to that first game from Elias. Middle section of the game, Coll looked as if he was starting to take a bit of control. Bit of a fortunate one there. Looked like he had to grind that off the wall with the frame of the racket, and it turned out to be too good for Elias, so more of a hopeful start for Coll. Just ran away from it. From him, rather, that first game, Chris. He would have been a bit frustrated, I feel, coming up after getting a no-let and then giving away the stroke.
No, absolutely. And I think the thing that Diego Elias did so well in that first game was just absorb all the pressure from Coll. He didn't particularly do anything overly flashy, but he just took his time and waited for something loose from Coll before counter-punching. It's another miss there from Coll. He just isn't quite finding the range in terms of the attacking play into the front corners.
Yeah, that's right. You could hear the frustration from Coll. Not convinced it was the correct shot choice anyway. Elias was heading into that front corner. Well, this time Elias clips the 10, but I thought that was a quality rally from Coll. Straight lines were very, very good, finding his targets.
Some of these errors from Coll are a little bit surprising for the amount he's trying to grind Elias into the back corners. He's just a little bit restricted on his swing going in short, and it's just causing him to clip the 10.
Yeah, it's quite uncharacteristic of Coll, really, to give away quite so many freebies. Wow. I mean, that's... Both players have hit 2 10s here in the first 5 rallies. It's been littered with errors so far, the second game. Well, he's got to be a little bit careful here, Elias, because John Mazzarella will not take any nonsense. Elias does like to engage with the referee at times. I mean, it did look to me, Chris, as if that had to be a stroke. It was a very wayward drive from Elias. Hit the sidewall very early, shot out to the middle.
Yeah, he certainly didn't find the right angle on it. But that's an incredible response there from Elias. And this is one of the things that makes him just so dangerous, is that ability to just snatch the ball out of nowhere and just get it to roll completely dead.
Well, it's there again. He's hooked it out the air. Well, the errors have certainly dried up now from Elias. That's 3 outright winners in a row from all areas of the court. That was a stunner from the back left corner.
Yeah, I must say, when Elias letting these rallies develop and being patient and allowing Coll just to force the pace, he seemed to have been very effective, Elias. Just counter-punching and working off Coll's pace. Well, these are some really critical rallies, Paul, because Elias with that 1-love lead, and he's looked pretty sharp. This is one of those big momentum-changing moments, potentially.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. I was thinking similar thoughts myself. It'd be a real bonus for each player to get this second game. Coll can pull it back and draw level at 1-all. He'd fancy his chances. But by the same token, if Elias can take a 2-love lead and settle in even more, because he does look pretty comfortable out there. I know he saw a couple of errors at the start of this game, but he's looking pretty relaxed, pretty slick. If to take a 2-love lead, it'd really take some stopping.
I must say, I think the tactic here today from Elias has been absolutely immaculate. He's just been patient and really counter-punched supremely well, forcing Coll to do so much work to be keeping the pace as high as it is.
Yeah, and that was another rally where Coll put in a huge amount of work to draw on all of his athletic abilities, but at the end of the day, finds the top of the tin again. Oh, you can hear in the voice there from Elias. how much these points mean. By the same token, it sounded like a frustrated Paul Coll. Huge rally.
Well, I think Paul Coll might have a leg to stand on there. Just Elias not particularly able to clear that ball cleanly. The quality of length a little bit suspect. Well, he's really trying to get the hitting into that side wall, Diego Elias, and take the volley away from Paul Coll. We just see Paul Coll trying to push so far up the court and get the pace so high.
Oh, it's great pressure. Great pressure from Coll. As you say, Chris, it's all about the pace and making the court big for Elias there. Well, as we've said, every rally is worth its weight in gold at this stage of the match.
Oh, that's smooth from Elias. He's just absolutely cut everything off that ball, getting it to stay very, very short.
Yeah, it was a fantastic shot there from the Peruvian. Almost casual the way that he played it. Oh, yes. So delicate there. Steams into that front backhand corner. Just nudges the ball in with deft touch there, Paul Coll. Back within one on the scoreboard. Someone in the crowd enjoyed that. Similar shot, but he worked the rally in a different way that time, Coll. Previous shot into the front forehand was enough to have Elias out of position. Oh, what a response though. Straight off the return of serve, Elias just finishes the rally stone dead.
It was a big
game ball.
It was a big response there from Diego Elias, because Coll was starting to really gain momentum and create a lot of pressure. Well, you get the feeling, Paul, this could be an absolutely monstrous rally.
Yeah, I just sense that Elias is just going to look for one opportunity and he'll fire in. He's not really missed too much, aside from the opening rallies in this second game. Well, it ends in a let, just to add to the tension.
Absolutely, but if you had to put your finger on one rally, this rally has potential to completely change the entire match.
100% right, Chris. Yeah. I mean, 2-love, as we've said, would be an unbelievably strong position for Elias to find himself in. Oh, it's ended once again on a stroke for Elias. Well, just a little bit scrappy in that final rally at the business end of it. Elias finishes the game strong once again. 17 minutes, the second game there, and it's Elias takes it 11-9. And the Peruvian #1 seed leads by 2 games to love. Well, here we go, folks. Approaching the 40-minute mark of this final. 2 games to love to the #1 seed. Closed out the first 2 games.
Yeah, he's going to need to have a good start here, Coll. Obviously.
Well, yeah, there's definitely been patches of the match where he's looked to really take control of proceedings out there, but combination of outrageous finishes from Elias and a slightly high error count from the Kiwi. It's made the difference really for me.
No, absolutely, Paul. It's been a razor-thin margin. There's been moments where, like you say, you thought that Coll was going to grab the bull by the horns. But whenever it's gotten to the big moments, Diego Elias has had a response for practically everything. Well, they're certainly opening up the range now. These rallies becoming very full court and very physical. Well, and I think that string being broken by Coll potentially also helps Diego Elias. Just gives him a few extra moments here to catch his breath and recover the oxygen levels to be able to push the pace up again.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. Probably it would have been the last thing that Coll would want, would be a break in play. You certainly back the Kiwi to physically be able to turn this match around.
And he's just misjudged that Coll, and this is not the start he was looking for at all.
Yeah, you could see the hand went straight to his head there. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Elias was nowhere near getting that ball back. It was a good idea from Coll, but I mean, hitting the tin from that range is a bit of a shocker, really. That's a good response, though. No mistake that time. Ran the ball in lovely and straight down that left wall.
Bit of a big miss, that one from Diego Elias. Just allows Coll to claw another point back.
Again, it's an important phase of the match, this. Coll definitely will rise to the challenge of turning this match around and solidifying, getting Elias working harder. But it has to be now, really. It needs to be very strong in this early to mid stage of the third game, just to try to take the wind out of the sails of Elias.
No, absolutely. But it's one of those things that's a little bit easier said than done because Diego Elias is so good at just absorbing, and then waiting for the right moment to counter punch.
Well, onto that forehand volley instantly there from Elias. Another tough rally. All four corners of the court being used. See Elias here in no rush to get this next rally started. It was a tough one, that.
No, it sure was. And I think one of the things Elias has done really well here tonight is just manage his effort levels, because Coll's quite obviously tried to push the pace and try to wind Elias, but Elias has been quite clever in terms of absorbing the pace but not getting stuck behind Coll for too long.
Well, Coll apologises there for a slightly fortunate winner there. I'll tell you what though, Chris, he'll take it at this stage of a match.
Oh, and that's a big miss from Coll. He was in a good position there, had his feet planted, and he just misjudged the angle. So gives Elias that 2-point cushion again, which is so important in these big moments.
Yeah, you could see he's absolutely furious by the miss there, Coll. Well, it ends up as a stroke to Coll, and he's back level now in his third game.
Well, and we hear all the support for Coll from the crowd wanting to see this extended. But what a response from Diego Elias, just so calmly slashing it into the neck. Unlike the previous two games, Paul, we've seen Diego Elias really come alive as it's got down to the business end of things.
Yeah, you're right. Chris is he's certainly played the pointy end of the games better than Coll.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that we don't have a video review here, because I think a review on that decision might potentially get overturned.
Oh, a lovely counter there from Elias. Sets himself up with 4 match balls here for an unbelievable 4th title in a row.
Well, he's been absolutely class here from 6-all in the 3rd game, Paul. Diego Elias just has really put the afterburners on.
Oh, there it is. A 4th title in a row for Diego Elias here at the Sturbridge Capital Motor City Open. I mean, they're going to have to name this court after Diego Elias, surely, Chris.
No, you would think so. He's got one of the best records at any tournament that we have seen globally.
That's incredible, incredible stuff, and to come through the draw without dropping a game. I mean, it was tougher. It was by far the toughest match of the tournament for Diego Elias. But he comes through in straight games, 11-8, 11-9, 11-6. Well, Chris, it's been awesome to be joined by yourself for the semis and finals here in Detroit. It's got to be said that the best player in the tournament has taken the trophy once again.
No, it certainly has. The quality of squash produced by Diego Elias over the course of this event has been absolutely scintillating. The performance he put on last night against Suzuki was near perfect, and then to back that up with the dismantling he just put on against Coll was nothing short of sublime.
Yeah, it certainly was, and Coll will be disappointed to not back up from yesterday with another solid performance. A few errors from the Kiwi, but you've got to suggest that that was down to the level of pressure that Elias got onto the Kiwi. So congratulations go to Diego Elias, who is the champion here once again at the Sturbridge Capital Motor City Open. Well, the tournaments in this part of the world are coming thick and fast. Next weekend you can tune in to follow the DAC Pro Squash Classic, which is a women's event running from the 6th to the 10th of February, and also the Pittsburgh Open, which starts on the 7th, running through to the 11th of February, which is a men's event. Well, that's all for us here in Detroit. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage, and we'll be back next week for more action. So it's good night from us.